Welcome to my Aptera journey. My name is Rich Rodriguez. This video will cover Aptera Motors becoming a benefit company, possible new share issuance, Aptera's capital market advisor, Aptera's investor day, and Aptera's financial advisor and market maker. Aptera just announced their public stock listing soon. Wow, we have a lot to cover. So let's dive into this.
Ode to Aptera, the most efficient vehicle on the planet. It feels so right. Glides down the highway, taking off from the sun. No more drilling.
Hello, my name is Rich Rodriguez and welcome to my Aptera journey. This channel is about the thrill on a twisting, curving mountain road and the rush of adrenaline with 0 to 60 acceleration time in under 6 seconds. And the pleasure of charging your car from the sun. And on some models, the confidence of up to 1,000 miles of range. But we don't have an Aptera yet, and there are some specifications that have changed to get Aptera to market quicker. Despite that, there are some things I would like to share with you today. First, though, a little about me. I'm a trained electrical engineer, so I understand how EVs work. I'm an EV owner with over 180,000 miles of experience, so I get range in charging. I have an MBA in finance, and I have been mentored by an investment banker. In my day job, I read and analyze financial statements every day. So let's get right to it. Part 1, Public Benefit Corporation. The Public Benefit Corporation is a relatively new concept, and it traces its roots back to the 1970s, where companies began to publicly commit to making a profit while also taking actions that benefited people and the environment. While a for-profit business is concerned only with making money for their shareholders, a benefit corporation is concerned not only with making money, but also with providing a benefit to the community, the environment, or some other social cause. Effectively, a benefit corporation blends a for-profit corporation's profit motives with a nonprofit's goal to effect a social purpose. Most states have enacted B Corp legislation. Some notable B corporations include Ben & Jerry's, Patagonia, and many others. Being a B Corp effectively immunes the board and management from lawsuits from failing to simply increase profits. That means, in effect, that profits are not the sole driver for a corporation's existence. Aptera says, the company's duty to balance a variety of interests may result in actions that do not maximize shareholder value, because those other benefits are also important. Aptera Motors' aims are to break the chains of energy dependence by championing solar mobility, liberating communities, restoring sustainability, and forging a future where power belongs to the people. Being a public benefit corporation underscores Aptera's commitment to their purpose and their stakeholders, including customers, consumers, communities, and stockholders. Perhaps 15 years or more from now, Aptera Motors will be as widely known and as successful as Patagonia. I totally commend Aptera Motors for making a transition to a B Corp. It fits with their ethos of the founders and many of Aptera supporters. Part 2. New share issuance. The prospectus included with the S-1 registration statement that was filed with the SEC said that Aptera is using a continuing offering process. What does that mean? A continuous offering process for stock, often called ATM or at the market offering, is a method for a company to sell its shares over time in the public market at prevailing prices through a sales agent rather than a one-time offering. Companies use the continuous offering process program under an effective registration statement with the SEC, the S-1, to allow them to raise capital flexibly when market conditions are favorable, even after the initial registration. Also in the prospectus included with the S-1 registration, it stated that 20 million shares of preferred stock may be issued from time to time. What does that mean? Aptera Motors could issue new shares in the market to allow them to purchase the tooling and parts inventory needed to build our vehicles and commence volume production. Wonderful. Part 3. Capital Market Advisor. Amato & Partners, LLC, was retained by Aptera Motors. They are providing tailored investor relations programs and strategic capital market advisory services. What does that mean? Some examples. They advised a company on the appropriate size for a reverse stock split in order to retain enough shares in the public float. They also helped advise this company on an investment banking syndicate for 2 private placements. This syndication of banks later helped put together and completed an additional $30 million equity raise for this company. Amato helped another company develop a comprehensive and targeted capital market strategy. First, they began by creating an investor presentation deck and a corporate fact sheet in conjunction with building the investor relations section of their company website. Then they set up meetings with retail brokers and individual investors, as well as coordinating nationwide with a non-deal roadshow with family offices and special situation funds. Part 4. Investor Day. Aptera will not conduct a traditional roadshow with underwriters prior to the opening of trading of stock on NASDAQ. Instead, they intend to host an Investor Day and engage in certain other investor education meetings. In advance of the Investor Day, Aptera will announce the date of such day over financial news outlets in a manner consistent with typical corporate outreach to investors. I know in my work, when bonds are placed, there is an electronic virtual room where investors can view the preliminary offering statement and receive a presentation about the offering. Aptera intends to prepare an electronic presentation for this Investor Day, which will have content similar to a traditional roadshow presentation, and to make a version of this presentation publicly available without restriction on their website. So, to me, this virtual approach is perfectly understandable. Certainly, a physical roadshow around the country would be useful, but perhaps as Aptera starts their physical tour around the country, showing off the production intent vehicles, awareness in the vehicle and the company will markedly increase, along with interest in buying stock in the company's future. Part 5, Financial Advisor and Market Maker. Aptera Motors has selected Northland Securities, Inc. to function as their financial advisor in the direct placement of shares. First, let me say I'm really pleased that Aptera Motors selected Northland. Northland is a name I am familiar with in the public finance space, municipal bonds. Northland Securities will provide advice and assistance with respect to defining objectives, analyzing, structuring, and planning the direct listing, and in developing and assisting with Aptera's investor communication strategy in relation to the direct listing. Northland will also determine when shares of the Class B common stock are ready to trade and approve proceeding with the opening of trading at the then current reference price. Also, Northland will be one of 3 active market makers. A market maker is an individual or firm that continuously stands ready to buy and sell a financial asset, providing liquidity to the market. By quoting both a bid price to buy and an ask price to sell, they ensure that traders can always find a counterparty for their transactions, creating a more efficient and stable market. Here's an example market maker. A market maker might offer to buy a stock for $100, the bid price, and sell the same stock for $100.05, the ask price. If they execute both trades, they earn a profit of 5 cents per share. When applied to billions of shares traded daily, these small profits add up. 2. When the market maker offered to buy the 100 shares, they provided a market for sellers. When the market maker offered to sell shares for $100.05, they provided a market for buyers. This is how the market maker smooths the market. Northland Securities this year completed smaller deals like a $30 million direct placement, all the ways up to a $5 billion sole placement roll. Again, I think Northland is well positioned to make Aptera's direct listing and offering a great success. Well, that's all I have today. A small postscript. Many of you had asked, why has Aptera been so quiet with their marketing and newsletters and monthly updates recently? Aptera Motors is now in what's called the quiet period. After filing to have securities placed in the public market, the company mustn't say anything that would tend to shift markets up or down. Once the SEC approves the listing, then Aptera can be more vocal in the marketplace again. Well, my wish for you is to be well, do good work, and charge on.
Wingless flight. I love Aptera. It feels so right. The future is now. Protect Mother Earth. Keep her healthy for what it's worth. What's your pleasure?